Alright, so, this is the last of the spooky season era Patreon requests, and this one comes from Bill McLaughlin, who asked me to do a Hellsing Ghoul School crossover. As always, if you guys would like to have Patreon requests done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can hit the third tier. That'll allow you to send me requests for videos to do here on YouTube, as well as check out the videos exclusively on Patreon as well. I mean, you could do that with the other two tiers, but I digress. So, this is, as you can see, a Hellsing Ghoul School crossover. That's what we're going to be doing for this one. So, let's get started. So the story begins in London, and it's a calm, cool daytime until, just out of the blue, the sun starts to recede from, like, this huge mass of just bats start circling and consuming the daylight. Like, bats from all corners of the world, and clouds just eclipse the sun. Like, all of Britain has now been, eclipsed in darkness. Not only that, it's kind of a bad day to be a human, because with no sunlight, it means all the nasty things that the Hellsing organization has been battling has, come out of the woodwork. They're crawling out and openly attacking every human they see. Like, every vampire, every werewolf, every ghoul out there is going out and just going into beast mode because of this unknown eclipse of the sun. So, of course, Hellsing organization is rushed in, but they're like, there's no vampire powerful enough to do something like that. And she's like, there is. He works for us. Like, that's the only way that works. And then even the British government is like, hey, so we know that, Alucard, your agent Alucard is pretty fucking powerful. Do you want to explain this to us? Because you said that he was the only one, he's the only one of his kind capable of that. And Alucard is just like, he's being very mum on it. Like, he tells Integra, he's like, my master, this is not me. And she's like, you know who's doing this, though, right? Like, you know who's doing this. And he's like, I can't tell you. And she's like, you will tell me. And he's like, Master, I do not ask you, I don't ask much of you. But please, for my sake, don't ask me to go out there. And she's like, are you afraid? And he's like, no, I just refuse. And she's like, you know what this is. Like, you know who's doing this. Are you scared of them? And he's like, I'm not going to say. So, Saris and the Wild Geese and even Walter are dispatched because Alucard is refusing to do anything. Like, Alucard is refusing to do anything about this situation. He's just like, yeah, I'm just going to stay here because I refuse to go out there and fight what's causing this. So it is just absolute chaos. Even Saris is like, Master, why don't you come out? And he's like, you wouldn't understand. So Alucard's just kind of like, and even Integra's like, I've never seen Alucard like this. He's not afraid. I should have realized earlier. He's not afraid. He's sad. Like, something is upsetting him. Like, there's something wrong here. And something has upset him greatly. And there's something he's not telling us. Because he knows who's causing this. He knows what the problem is. But he refuses to say anything about it. Like, he is just straight up refusing to say anything about the matter. So, we gotta figure out what that is. We have to figure out what that problem is. So, get to it. So, yeah. So Integra goes back while all these, while their agents and agents of Hellsing are being spread thin. Even the British government's being spread thin, and while this is going on, someone has appeared before Alucard. That person is Miss Grimwood, and she's like, you know what she's doing, right? And he's like, I know it's not her doing this, so you need to tell me. I sent you, and Grimwood says, you left her with me. You abandoned her to go do this. He's like, she thinks she's doing this out of resentment, and he's like, a part of her is, but there's something more to this. Like, she always had a resentment towards you for just abandoning you. She's like, I didn't abandon her. She needed, she needed to be a conqueror. She needed to learn how to be a conqueror and to be protected. So I assumed you could do that for me. But clearly I knew I didn't realize I clearly trusted the wrong person to take care of her. And she goes, this isn't her, like, this isn't just her. Like, she became more erratic and more aggressive. Something has been done to her. So you need to go deal with this. And by that I mean deal with it. Because I've tried using magic to figure out what it is. It's not helping. Like, you need to go settle this. And she's like, what about the other? And he goes, if you're here, then the other girls are here, right? And sure enough, right as Saris is battling her way through several ghouls, just Elsa comes flying in with, like, fists and just comes smashing them, while Winnie, Phantasma, and Tannis have all united. And she's like, oh, and Tannis is like, don't worry, love, the cavalry's here. So, and they're like, who are you? And they're like, we know what's going on, but you need to trust us when we say this is Alucard's fight. Like, this is something only Alucard can fix. So, Alucard is forced by Grimwood to go deal with this, and he goes, where is she? And she goes, in the Tower of London. She's waiting. I think she's waiting for you. Or what's left of her. So, sure enough, Alucard goes there, and there she is, Sabella, his daughter. And he just walks and goes, daughter, what'd they do to you? What happened to you? And she's like, it's like this, like, it's powerful. Like, she's showcasing all of this power that she gained from being the daughter of Dracula. But she's like this snarling, wild animal. Like, there's nothing there of Sabella. And he's just like, I should have been there. Like, I should have taken care of you. But, I got killed by Van Helsing and was forced into servitude. It was part of my deal. And I hoped that after I was gone, that you would be, the next person in line to take my place, to be the real ruler of the vampires. So Sabella attacks him, and Alucard does show his power, but she's just as powerful as him. Until eventually Alucard has to go release and control state on her after, like, holding back for so long, and just, like, lands a mortal wound through her chest, and he's just like, she's on the ground just kind of shrieking and snarling at him, and he goes, close your eyes, child. Close your eyes, okay? And he just fires. And he's just on the ground, just like, he's not crying, but like he's holding like the ash of his daughter as it's flying away in the wind. And that's when he sees like a chip in her brain. And he's just like, it's got a little swastika on it, and he's like, because he knows it was Millennium who did it. He's just like crushing it, and he's like, I'm going to fucking kill all of them one day. So by the end of it, Alucard explains to Integra that it was my daughter who did this. I had left her with Grimwood to be like, to hide her in secret, to one day take the throne, because I knew I couldn't come back to being the king of the vampires. So, yeah, it was my daughter, and she goes, where's your daughter now? And he goes, a better place. I hope. You mean like heaven? No. Just peace. So Alucard goes back to his crypt, and is like, I wish to be alone for the rest of the week, master. And he goes, and she goes, and Integra's just like, you can have 2 weeks, Alucard. So, yeah. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my Alucard Ghoul School crossover. I mean, Hellsing Ghoul School crossover. Yep, pretty somber. But anyway, so there you go, guys. That is pretty much it. And once again, I'd like to thank Bill McLaughlin for this Patreon request, as well as continued patronage. And you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? And like I said before, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon. You guys can hit the 3rd tier. That will allow you access to all the other stuff. Although you could just, if you want to just check out certain tiers, that's fine too. But yeah. Anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.